First set. Quiet, please. Thank you. Play. Love 15.
Well, that's the thing that Cash has been doing so well all tournament, the serve, and obvious signs of tension there as he opening up with a double fault. He's been averaging 70% of his first serves in right throughout this tournament, which is just spectacular serving.
$15 all.
John, for him to win this match, I think he'll have to continue serving at that 70% level, because as soon as it falls below that, the great power and the ground strokes of Lendl, I think, might just be too much.
That's what Ivan would hope to do, really take advantage of the missed first serves. So interestingly, both of Pat Cash's second serves
30-15.
directed to the Lendl forehand, and Lendl coming up with errors both times.
Yes, a let-off in this early stages here for Cash.
Yes, it really is a confident shot, that forehand of Lendl's. He either hits it brilliantly, or when he gets shaken, he can make a lot of errors.
$40-15.
The first really confident point for Cash.
And the first game for Pat Cash. He leads Ivan Lendl 1-love in the first set.
Coming through there, Cash making his intentions obvious.
15-love.
Well, this was quite interesting. He entered into a baseline rally. He didn't really make an approach shot. All of a sudden, he decided to charge to the net. Only Pat Cash with that speed would be able to make that move effectively.
$30-love.
And also of interest, Ivan has not opened up with his big serve. He has really just played a very half-paced first ball into court, first 2 points.
Yes, it's tactics that perhaps he and Tony Roach have worked out. Perhaps he thinks Cash likes the pace of the first serve and therefore doesn't want to allow him to get the timing.
30-15.
Lendl really can crack that first serve when he really opens the shoulders. He can hit the first serve as fast as anybody.
$40-15.
That was close.
No question from either player.
Cain Lendl.
A comfortable service game from Lendl.
1 game all.
And John, just to remind ourselves of the Wimbledon final, Lendl serving in that last point of the game, a wide serve to Cash's forehand and winning the point. I felt at Wimbledon that he didn't do that enough. He served to Cash's backhand too much, and Cash really got in the groove there and returned magnificently. You think we might see him try to attack that forehand side?
Yes, I don't think that Ivan had studied Pat's game enough prior to the Wimbledon final. And I think now there's a lot of players that realise that Cash's main weakness when you're serving to him is wide on the first court.
Cash continuing to keep the pressure on, moving forward.
15 love. Thirty love.
Cash really varying his first serves. It's just about 50-50 forehand or backhand.
Thirty 15.
Second double for Cash. That's the thing he's going to have to do against this man, is to really vary his serve, to really think about the placement, change-ups in speed and spin, because once Lendl gets hold of your serve, he can be devastating. So he wins so many matches on this type of court.
Forty 15.
Let's have a look at the service action of Pat Cash. It's a beautifully simple service swing. Nice ball toss, bends his knees nicely to extend right up.
Lendl 3 metres behind the baseline to take the first serve of Cash. And not really moving in to hit the ball. Moving in now for the second serve.
Out. 40 30. Deuce.
Well, a well-placed serve there right at Lendl, and gee, he had good hands there to just fend it off, and fended it off in such an awkward position for Cash that he ended up winning the point.
Advantage Cash.
I think Lendl will be a little disappointed with that, because he had a good look at that forehand. The serve wasn't as wide as Cash would have liked. And Lendl, I think, would have been expecting to do more with that.
Game Cash.
And with that overhead into the front row, Pat Cash leads 2-1.
1-2.
Love 15.
Second for Lendl. As I said, both players just a little tentative, a little tense at the moment. As we see the court, as Jerry Armstrong, the umpire, views it.
All.
Something's bothering Cash. Let's see if we can pick up what it is.
Yes, I think he's talking about the photographers in the photography pit that is directly behind the court. There it is. And when they move, it is right in a line with the player's sight from the southern end.
Particularly if he's got a white shirt like that gentleman had on.
I think
15-30.
I'm just showing early match tension still. But I think this idea of slowing down his first serve and getting the first ball in is expressly to stop Cash from attacking on the second ball.
Yes, the chip and charge tactic, not that possible off the first serve.
And there is the Lendl power.
30 all.
World's sports photographers wouldn't want to pay their luggage overweight bill.
And
40-30.
Lendl just picking up the pace a little on the first serve, the last 2 points. He's no doubt going to vary it with his first serve, as Cash must. It shows they've put in a bit of thought about the tactics to this match. Well, the net court assisting Cash there. It just popped the ball up for him and enabled him to get to the net.
Deuce.
Let's watch it here. Now this shot here clips the tape and just pops up and presents an easy passage to the net for Cash. And then he's very sound on the overhead, going for placement. Right, an important win in that point for Cash psychologically. Attacking the net. Lendl trying to blast past him, couldn't do it.
Advantage Cash.
And the first break point of the match with Pat Cash.
And the crowd's sentiments, no doubt echoing in Ivan's ears. He could be a lonely man here today.
Deuce.
Well, that was a clever shot from Lendl, not risking the pass there on the break point, just throwing up a heavily topspun lob, causing Cash a difficult shot.
Just an inch off another break point.
Advantage Lendl.
We speak French, don't we, John? Enough to know what that was, anyway. Real Pat Cash fan.
Cain Lendl.
Well, psychologically, that was an important game for Lendl.
Yes, there's some real thinking
Two
going on
games
there.
all.
And Cash actually complained after the end of that point that the ball had got higher than what he was expecting. We have noticed during the heat of the day, the court plays just slightly slower, and possibly the ball comes up just a little bit more.
And a perfect first serve.
15 love.
Hit with tremendous power and placement. Right at the junction of the service line and the centre line.
Love.
Exactly the same spot, this time to the second court. Cash's first ace.
Two absolute boomers.
Oh, gee, there was some pace in that. Cash is really usually very quick to react. Had no chance of picking up that one.
30-15.
And that has appeared to have been a tactic of Pat on the second ball to put it to the forehand. But if you play with fire, sooner or later you're going to get burned.
Forty 15. Forty 30.
Well, he does have some fans here, Ivan Lendl. And with shots like that, why not?
Well, he would have fans wherever tennis is played. He has been the #1 player for some time now.
Cash has just got to watch that serve to the forehand. That's a couple of times now. It hasn't been wide enough and it's been severely dealt with.
Deuce.
Lovely angle on the return there from Lendl that took Cash out of court and set up the point. So second time in a row for Cash that he's been taken to deuce. Oh, gosh, that is a fantastic shot from Lendl. That was a pretty good serve. What a forehand return. His third winner off the forehand in this game.
Advantage
This was
Lendl.
a great serve, but even a better return. And look at that, Pat Cash, one of the quickest players in the world, not within 4 meters of the ball.
So Lendl was able to fight back after a break point against him last game. Let's see if Cash can follow suit.
On
Deuce.
the break point, Ivan really tensed up, tried to guide that forehand back. When he'd had a go at it, had been so successful.
Advantage Cash.
Very well placed serve there by Cash.
Game Cash.
So Cash does fight back. Lendl not too sure about the call, but no overrule. Cash leads 3-2 in the first set.
Help. 15 love.
It's two forehands that Pat has pulled back down that line that have just missed.
Fifteen all. Fifteen 30.
Interestingly, directing more of his attack to the Lendl forehand.
Yes, he nearly got into trouble with it on the previous service game. Certainly a great shot, but it can be a little wristy and slappy sometimes, the forehand of Lendl.
30 all.
Pat just hesitating there, not really going after that ball with confidence. Both players showing evidence of feeling real tension. A lot of build-up. And just a
30, 40.
tremendously constructed tennis point by Pat Cash. He drove the ball deep into the corner. That forehand he picked up off the mat and played a tremendous forehand volley to gain this break point.
Deuce.
Perfectly placed first serve there from Lendl.
He sure didn't want to give Pat a second serve then, did he? It's a very safe first serve.
Advantage Lendl. Game Lendl. Three games all.
A couple of disappointing shots there from Cash, from Juice. Did well, he'd had a break point, and at Juice he was really in the game, but then hit a wild forehand, and then rather a tentative backhand there. So we're at 3-all in this really absorbing struggle in this first set as both players try to gain that initial break.
Fifteen love. $30 love.
Really playing a tremendous distance behind the baseline. Ivan Lendl, it's a stark contrast to Cash, who's hovering just on the baseline or a metre or so back. Lendl is even rallying from 3 metres back, about where he's standing there. Certainly gives him time to line up the shot, but a long way to control it from back that far.
$30-15.
They're the young ball people.
$40-15.
It's Expressing himself in English.
Game cash.
Pat Cash through to a 4-3 lead in the first set.
That's the hardest serve he's hit for the match.
15 love. Love.
More symptoms of anxiety. Backhand volley that Pat would really miss at shoulder height. He was close to the net.
Love.
And the first ace for Ivan Lendl.
And here's how he did it. Slow motion so we can all see it this time. Thundering power. And didn't take more than one step in. He knew it was an ace immediately.
Out. 40-15. $40-30. Cain Lendl. Four games all. $15 love.
Lendl going for the big drive on the return there, but that ball just jamming him. Good way to serve to players who like to take big swings on their returns is to slide the ball into their body.
15 all.
Serve into the forehand, struggled to get the forehand volley and really didn't go one way or the other. Pat really should have at least covered one of the options.
$15.30.
Lendl just starting to look a little dangerous now. Successive backhand winners. It's a big lift to his confidence.
$30 all.
Cash fights back. Any way he knows with a serve and volley.
$40.30.
And this is how it looked from court level. You could see Lendl 4 metres behind the baseline to return that serve. That power from Cash, just awesome.
Deuce.
All on juice. And some real tension.
Yes, you wouldn't think 15,000 people could remain this silent.
Certainly not.
On the others,
Advantage Lendl.
going through the crowd. Pat Cash over hitting that forehand. And now some cries of support for the local hero.
And a telling sign there, he served and stayed back on the few times he's done at this match.
Deuce.
Sort of a sarcastic smile there of Ivan Lendl. He knew he had hit a screamer down the line. And only the very top of the net stopped it from being a break.
Advantage Lendl.
Again, a little hesitancy there by Cash. Finds himself down. Another break point here.
Deuce.
And here's Pat saving another break point with the serve and volley. An excellent backhand volley down the line. And he was going to be covering that forehand of Lendl's up the line also.
Well, Lendl thinking it was a double fault.
Challenging the service linesman.
Sorry? I didn't see it. I saw the ball on the line. Advantage Cash.
And you be the judge. But the umpire, Jerry Armstrong, like a witness at a crime, I didn't see anything.
Game point now for Cash.
And he's through. The most important game, and Cash leads 5-4 in the first set. Lendl serving 4-5.
15 love. Love.
Pat stepping up, trying to force it a little bit, but that second serve was just too strong.
Love.
Well, a very easy game here coming up for Lendl. Cash not returning any of the three serves so far. That's what he didn't want to do. This vital stage of the first set. Give Lendl a cheap game.
Forty 15.
Barry Court and his wife Margaret Court, a woman who has won more Grand Slam singles events than anyone.
Forty 30.
There's a couple of great players there. John Newcombe. And on the right, the great Rod Laver, dual Grand Slam winner. Newcombe 3 times Wimbledon champion. There's 7 Wimbledon titles there between those two. Of course, a lot of the great champions, past winners of the Open, here as guests. So all of a sudden, it's not such a cheap game.
Deuce.
40 love to deuce. Lendl must have been thinking this was an easy game.
That man and the baddies wear the black hats. That's Mark Edmondson, and to his right, Leslie Turner Bowery. And Mark's wife, Vicky.
Advantage Cash.
And
Oh,
with
what a
that
turnaround in this game. John 40 love with 3 unforced errors that appeared Cash having no chance in the game. He hung in there and attacked the net a couple of times. A loose forehand from Lendl, and all of a sudden, at deuce, he started to think a little bit about it, and then that surprising double fault.
his 3rd of the set, and couldn't have come at a worse time.
Set point for Cash. Oh,
Second service.
was that shaky. Listen to the murmur of the crowd.
And that let nearly went out too. It nearly bounced over the service line. And was steadying himself, taking time.
Well, he's got Pat Cash. And just on 1 hour of tennis, Pat Cash winning the first set.
First set Cash, 6 games to 4.
People standing and applauding, waving flags. And Pat Cash feeling the need to re-wrap his grip.
I bet he's a little surprised, John.
Quiet,
that he
please.
actually
Second
broke
set,
through
Cash
there,
to serve.
particularly when he was down 40 love and had missed 3 return of serves. But now the psychological advantage with him, winning that vital opening set.
Out. 15 love.
Frank Sedgman, Adrian Quist behind him.
Boy, that looked good.
Oh, Pat thought it was
Just
good.
missed. Just missed.
Jerry Armstrong.
Just missed.
Pat just a little aggressive, making his feelings felt to Jerry Armstrong, and the ball definitely looked good from here. We are a long way away.
$15 all.
Lendl able to take advantage of that doubtful call. Coming up with a good return. He must be just a little shaken after dropping serve and losing that first set from that 40 love lead. We look, he's well ahead on the first serves in, but that's because he's been serving a lot of first serves at 3/4 pace. Cash below his best, but he wouldn't be too worried at this stage because he's got the first set.
30-15.
It's a sliding serve into the body of Lendl again. But look at that. The points won when Pat Cash's first serve goes in, 90%. Lendl only at 61%. Both quite respectable.
All.
We'll get a nice little backhand chip there from Ivan to set up the forehand pass.
Yes, that's a shot that Tony Roach has introduced to his arsenal. He was previously more of a guy who would gun after everything.
Forty, 30.
A pretty impressive second serve there from Cash, again on a key point. 30 all, able to get it in close to the body of Lendl. See the unforced errors, very similar. Fairly high, but as we said, there's a lot of tension down there in this match.
Game Cash.
And there it is, another sliding serve to the body of Lendl, and Pat Cash leads a set and 1-love.
Love 15.
He is quite visibly shaken. That first serve attempt then was a very tentative attempt just to get the ball in play. Hesitant on the forehand.
Fifteen all.
And again, the ball coming off parts of the frame. Cash asked him to steer the ball.
Fifteen, 30.
Well, just a superior approach shot here. So close to the line it didn't matter, and sets up the smash for Cash. He's very good at angling the smash away without overpowering it.
All.
Well, charged up Pat Cash, not happy with that shot. He knows he's got the world's #1 just reeling a little. First set that Lendl has dropped for the tournament.
Forty, 30. Game Lendl. One game on.
So Lendl back from a tricky position there at 15:30. But at this stage, Cash pretty much in the ascendancy. He got the first set, but really it was a very important set psychologically. And Cash won it without serving at his best. He knows he can pick up the serving, and therefore must be fairly confident. Well, clearly out.
I thought it was long.
Clearly.
15 long.
Yeah, it's not on good ground there,
long. I don't know
trying to
about why,
question
but
a
it's
ball
definitely
that he was about more than 80
He
feet
called it
away
long.
from.
But two calls. Two calls.
It was long and wide. There's no doubt about it. We're sitting right on that line.
And you can see where Ivan hit this ball from. A court is 78 feet long, and he hit it from about 10 feet outside of the
Quiet,
corner.
please.
So not in a good position to have questioned that call.
Fifteen all. $15.30.
Wonderful forehand there from Ivan.
15.40.
Hit it right on the line with tremendous power. And now he's got break points, so he's really struggling here, getting his game together. This would give him a tremendous lift if he could break here. And
Cain
break
Lendl.
he does, the first time in the match for Ivan Lendl. Takes the lead 2-1 in the second set.
$15 love.
Cash covering a lot of court here, but when he comes to the net, had the easy forehand volley and played it straight back to Ivan Lendl, and that's what got him into trouble. Tiring point for Cash.
$30 love.
Telecast as we watch this point in replay. Backhand of Ivan Lendl. Lendl starting to get a little bit more confidence. It gives It's a great pleasure to welcome to the microphone dual Grand Slam winner Rod Laver.
Yeah, thank you, Alan.
We had a shot of you enjoying the match from down in the second front row.
Yeah, it was a prime spot down there because it really shows Yvonne's a little bit nervous at the moment.
40, love.
It was a surprise loss of serve for him in that 10th game, wasn't it, when he led 40 love?
Yeah, it was. It was a little unusual because I thought that he would certainly get it to the tiebreaker.
Game Lendl.
Lendl consolidates his service break.
Lendl leads 3 games to 1.
Comfortable game on serve. And now it's Pat Cash who looks a little shaky and a little tentative from the back of the court.
Rod, you would have probably seen Lendl's match in the final of the Nabisco Masters. He's probably not quite in that form at the moment.
No, not at all. I thought really that Lendl played a tremendous match in that sustained quality of play in the Masters, and he hasn't showed it here. It seems like his footwork is really slow.
Love 15.
I get the feeling that he's nervous, and the way Pat is serving to him into his body, that he's not able to know which way to go, and so he's sort of not set to play consistently. So.
15 all.
Cash catching Lendl there with that three-quarter pace kicking serve, landing well up the line. Standing too far behind the baseline for that one.
$15.30.
Cash again in trouble on serve. And he really needs to hang on to this game. If he got down 2 breaks of serve, he could kiss the second set goodbye.
$15.40.
I guess this is why Lendl is standing that 3 metres or so behind the baseline. It's giving him a little bit extra time to really drive the returns. And the times that he is in trouble are when Cash slides the ball into the body. He's got 2 break points here for a double break.
First service.
I don't think you ever stood that far back, Rod, did you, to return a serve?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't get that far back. I couldn't hit it that far to the net. No, you know, Pat is played some wonderful tennis in that first set. He was able to pick up some low volleys and keep the pressure on. But I think Pat's you know, playing with very much within himself. That 1 break in the second set, but still, I think he seems to be hitting the ball okay.
30-40.
Well, if you stand that far back, there's absolutely no chance of ever picking up that serve. Only the second ace that Cash has served.
Game Lendl.
And there's the second break of serve to Lendl, and he now leads 4-1 in the second set.
15 love.
Very interesting psychological warfare there. It's a slow man who's slower than Ivan Lendl, but as soon as Ivan got the point up, the game up, he changed much quicker than Pat. And in fact, it was Pat who was dragging his feet.
Love.
Pat Cash Senior.
They're already out. Down by the baseline. Put those away.
I think we're in store for a long afternoon. I think this Ivan is not going to let this one get away from him. I know he wants to win the Australian badly, and I think there's been a lot of talk early on in this match, or before this match.
$30-15.
Tony Roach looking a little easier there with Samantha Frankel. He's very tense at the end of the first set.
Oh, what a great lob there from Lendl.
Ian Barclay,
40-15.
Pat's coach.
Takes a very superior lob to beat Cash with the leap that he's got when he goes back for the overhead.
Game Lendl. Ball change, please.
Ivan Lendl now leading 5-1 in the second set.
Lendl leads 5-1.
And going for a change of rackets, most likely. Taken out of the plastic wrapper.
Rod, you're out here as a guest of Tennis Australia, as a former past champion, and in your other role representing Nabisco.
Yes, I've enjoyed working with the Nabisco Grand Prix Tour and getting to see a lot of the current players and see him in action firsthand. You know, there's the great champions, and of course Pat, I think Australia should be proud of him. He's playing some tremendous tennis, and you know, he's got a great chance here to come out to be the inaugural winner of this in the new stadium.
New balls. New balls.
And Ivan questioning Pat.
gamesmanship.
Yes, this is very interesting because Pat did not show him the new balls. You don't have to. It's etiquette to do it. And
Quiet, please.
when Ivan asked him
Thank
for the
you.
third time, Pat threw them up to him to show that they were in fact new.
Well, Pat's point there would be that Lendl, the true professional that he is, should know that there was new balls called, and therefore didn't need Pat to show them to him. So a bit of niggle.
15 love.
I think Pat was probably also just a little terse with him because Ivan went and took time to change rackets. There was no broken string. And, he does take some liberties with the time arrangement between points.
Yeah, Ivan seems to change about every 10 games, and he feels that the tension goes, which is it's pretty fine touch to know it is loosening that much.
$15 all.
He brings his own stringer, Warren Bosworth, over, who you would be familiar with. He used to string our rackets during World Cup at Hartford.
Yeah, he's. I think it's great. He's a professional in all ways. He makes sure everything's right. His equipment, his clothing, his shoes, and he wants everything to no error.
It's looking more like the Pat Cash from the first set.
30-15.
First serve, an aggressive first volley. Pat's concentration wavered, possibly due to the ease of how the first set actually finally ended up.
$40-15. Game Cash.
The Cash holds serve, but Lendl leads 5-2, second set. That shot not deep enough there.
15 love.
And hit with topspin, as you'll see here. He comes in, hits the ball, a lot of topspin. It sits up just the perfect height for Lendl. Waist height, backhand. No mistake.
It's a hot job.
$15 all.
It seems to me that these two players at least have accepted the new surface and are trying to work out the best shots for it. I know that Pat, when he gets that approach shot and comes in and backs it up with volleys, it seems that would be an aggressive way to play Lendl. If you can keep him forward.
Yes, well, we noticed that Lendl almost from the beginning just tried to get his first serve in to stop Pat having a go at his second ball.
Well, I think that
Just
ball
made it.
made it. Lendl had the opportunity on the forehand volley, didn't really punch it.
15-30.
And you'll see something quite interesting here near the end of the point. The ball boy goes to catch Pat Cash's forehand up the line. And that would have been an extraordinary happening.
You'd have to be pretty quick to do it.
He was getting out of the blocks pretty well. I don't know whether he thought the volley was going for a winner or what. The ball boys and girls have been excellent during the fortnight so far.
$30 all.
Cash appearing to really hit through a couple of those forehands, standing up very straight there and not really transferring his weight forward. Very upright shot, dragged it into the tape. A little shake of the head. Form's just fallen away a little in the second set.
Some great tennis. I'm a little surprised though.
30-40.
And here's the replay, and just a lot of leather being thrown from the back of the court. Real power on that forehand by Cash. More, he follows it to the net. Lendl tries to continue the slugfest. It catches the net. Break point to Cash. And Lendl's missed the first ball.
Deuce.
It seems to me, though, that with Pat staying back like that, I think the longer that happens, the more that Ivan's going to get into a groove, and you know, he's happy that Pat is staying back because he can, bit by bit, get more of a groove on those shots.
Again, the approach shot probably not good enough.
Advantage Lendl.
Lendl with the opportunity to win the point with his passing shots. Not the first hit, but he could set it up there and now has set point.
First service. Game second set Lendl, 6 games to 2.
So after an hour and 36 minutes, we're all square in this semi-final. Tony Roach, little nod of the head. I think he's a little bit more
One set all.
relaxed as his man takes the second set with 2 breaks of serve, comfortably at 6-2.
Quiet, please.
That's Hanna Mandlikova and Jana Novotna. No doubt enjoying this match, and Hanna's coach Betty Stove. Seeing if they can pick up some tips from the men's tennis.
Quick reactions, winning the point there for Cash. Lendl thought he had it made.
It seemed like an ideal one for him to go straight at the
15
body.
love.
And
Yes.
I was
There's the first serves in, 61% for Lendl. Pat Cash picking up a bit up to 55%. So Lendl's going down and Pat's coming up.
still get the feeling that's
30
where
love.
Pat should be if he can all the time, is get to the net on any of the short balls that Lendl comes up with.
And there's Pat still winning the great majority of points. It's down from 90% at the end of the first set. And Lendl at 64%, quite good, not as good as he normally is, or had been so far in this tournament.
Out. 40 love.
So a good start coming up here for Cash. And Rod, I agree with you there. I think Cash really does need to maybe take a couple more chances and start trying to press a little more. I just don't see anybody beating Lendl unless they are pressing at every opportunity.
Game
One
Cash.
set all. Cash now leads 1-love in the third set.
And an aggressive pumped up Pat Cash.
Love 15.
And here it is from court level. And really took that ball early, long before the top of the bounce, and was charging in after the return. It's like a rocket.
Love 30.
And there's an interesting statistic. Cash 14-0.
Well, Lendl has only come in probably 3 or 4 times, but Cash really forcing the pace now early in this third set.
$15.30.
It seems to me that's Pat's best plan, because he's hit such a good approach shot, and also it's coming off the court pretty nicely.
$30 all.
A big serve when it was required from Ivan. Second ace from him. And in fact, 2 apiece. The serve strangely not dominating today as we thought it might. Certainly from Cash's viewpoint, I think he could improve his a little and his chances would go up markedly.
$40.30.
Well, that was a smart move from Lendl. As we saw on that recent stat, he hasn't been successful yet as far as net attempts concerned. And he caught Cash there. Cash not expecting him to come in at 30 all.
Game Lendl. 1 game all.
So a very promising start to that game, failing to materialise. Pat Cash, some smart tennis from Lendl. Both players really taking a fair amount of time.
As you notice, Lendl's still way back on the return of serve, letting Pat have the volley pretty much if he gets in there close.
Love 15.
Although the one thing you do notice is that when Lendl is about to hit it, he moves forward into that shot. That's one reason why he's back quite as far as he is. He has that chance to transfer his weight and get a little top on the ball, as you saw that last point. Pat had to grope for a volley.
$15 all. $30-15.
It's also a penalty, though, of staying too far back. Cash hitting a short volley there. And Lendl, all he could do really from his position was just try to lunge forward and pick it up. Ball too low for him to drive.
40-15.
Seems to me that Yvonne's going for a lot of those passing shots on the return of serve. It might be a little more advised just to keep the ball in play and use that chip that he had been working with Tony Roach so much on, and look for a second shot to make the passing shot.
Game cash.
And with that, Cash leads 2-1 in the third set. 1 set all.
15 love.
And we're very fortunate to have with us special comments on the semi-final match, Rod Laver. And Rod, it's pretty much anybody's match from here.
It is. It's a close one. I think Pat's well in it. You know, I think there's a little bit of a lull in the match. The standard is not quite as high as they started off with in the first set.
15 all.
It's fluctuating so much in point to point. Pat last game got up there 30 on Lendl's serve, and then just made 2 or 3 silly errors.
Do you think that might be partly due to the tension that both players are feeling?
I think that's exactly what it is. They're both nervous. As I mentioned, Lendl nervous in that first set. I think they're both feeling each other out still, and they both desperately want to win this tournament.
$30-15.
Cash giving Lendl the angle there. As we see the backhand winners. Very heavily in Lendl's favour. Of course, most of his are passing shots.
$40-15.
Narrowly over the baseline.
That forehand of Lendl's is such a lethal weapon when he gets set for it. And he's so accurate getting that sideline where Pat had to go so wide to catch up with it.
Cain Lendl. Two games all.
Pat showing a little disappointment there in that forehand, but it seems that when he gets into the long rallies that he tends to pull off the forehand more so than the backhand, and hence he's mistiming it. And I hope he doesn't feel like he's going to stay back there and counterpunch it with Lendl. I don't think he's going to win that way.
So 2-all third set. This match dead even. 1 set all, 2-all. Just got the feeling that Cash needs to really start to serve a little better.
Love 15.
Well, smart shot there by Lendl. He didn't try to hit the winner. He was a long way out of court. He just tried to give Cash difficult volley below the net with a lot of topspin on that shot. hoping to maybe force an error or at least give himself another chance at a pass. So I think the signs are starting to look quite promising for Lendl.
I think that's the difference. He
15 all.
gets that first serve and gets in and makes the first volley. I think he's going to find that Lendl's passing shots aren't going to be quite as effective. Seems to me he's going for a little bit too much, Ivan, on those passing shots.
Well, Rod, right throughout this tournament, Cash, according to our computer, he's averaged 70% of first serves into play. Now, that's tremendous serving.
It certainly is.
And yet today, it's just a bit below that. As you said, the difference when he gets the first serve in.
30-15.
Here's the sliding slice serve out wide to the Lendl forehand.
Great action. Gets full advantage of that height.
Pretty confident it wasn't coming back, eh?
Cash very disappointed with his play now.
30 all.
No doubt with dropping the ball short in that rally and allowing Lendl to really punish his forehand and move to the net.
Yes, he really allowed Lendl to dictate the play then. Can't let that happen at the crucial stages.
Big point here. 2 all, 30 all. First time for the match that Pat Cash has been called for foot faulting. Very rarely gets called. May have just gone for that little bit extra there and encroached on the line.
Choosing to go to the Lendl
40,
forehand
30.
on the second serve. It's paid off a few times early in the match, but he really got punished with it in the latter stages of the second set.
Yeah, early in the first set, he certainly was getting away with a few wide forehands, but I think he still has to mix it up. Even a few straight to the body is an effective serve.
Game Cash.
Cash is through to the 3-2 lead in the third set.
Love 15.
Well, a surprising miss there. Wasn't under any real pressure. It's one of his favourite shots, that off forehand. Getting towards the stage of the set where any really unforced errors or that slip could see the set evaporate.
Yeah, I get the feeling one breaker serve is going to win this set.
$15 all.
Gee, that looked out. I must say, Ivan Lendl's really protesting rather forcefully.
I didn't see it clearly out.
Boy, oh boy. We'll just listen to see if we can pick up what's going
I
on
didn't see
here.
that clearly out. I saw that come down with a lot of white. I didn't see it full space.
So I think Jerry Armstrong,
15,
to
13.
avoid arguments, has pretty much decided not to overrule unless there really is a blatant call, and I think he's quite right in adopting that attitude. I think it is the intention of the overrule that it only be used very sparingly. And that is Fred Stolle, looking splendid as he always does. Do you have a hat like that, Rod?
No, I haven't got a little Panama hat like that. He's looking very dapper, working, of course, with ESPN, going back to the States.
Let's see how that call affects Lendl.
First service.
So I had to agree with him there. My view of it, it seemed to be long.
And, of course, this is what can swing a match very quickly, as if Pat, of course, is now 15-30.
Lendl, not at his most confident with the volley. That was a high floater, and if you're not a natural volleyer, they're the type of shots you might miss.
And Cash just scrambled and grovelled and got the ball back.
15-40.
And this was the volley that Lendl missed, a bolo action. Didn't use correct volleying technique.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Needed to play a shorter punching action.
Yeah, he didn't need to do so much either. Pat was quite a long way away from that ball. Because here we're looking at a position now for Pat to put the pressure on Lendl, especially if this first service doesn't make it.
Super shot. So Lendl under extreme pressure here
30,
as Cash
40.
moves in. Remember his break point down. The exact right shot for the occasion there.
And as much as this crowd may be behind Pat Cash, they sure are giving Ivan a very fair round of applause after his great tennis.
But it still remains that Pat's got another break of serve still going.
Tony Roach can't hardly watch.
Can't bear to watch. Look at that.
Does he know something we don't know?
Game Cash.
He may have. And you can see Lendl throwing his racket towards the
Code
baseline.
violation. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Warning, Mr. Lendl.
And in fact, getting a code violation.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, Ivan does have an argument here.
For throwing a racket, and I saw you thought you mouthed arsehole. So
What did I say?
I thought you mouthed arsehole.
What did I say?
You mouthed.
Yeah, what did I say? With my mouth.
I'm not going to shout out over the
Whisper
microphone.
in my ear.
I thought you mouthed arsehole.
Watch my mouth very if you want to shred.
And the umpire saying that he thought he could lip read.
Cash leads 4 games to 2.
He said he mouthed a particular word and threw the racket. And yet just a game before he had only warned Pat Cash for bouncing his racket.
Quiet, please.
A slight inconsistency, possibly.
So the Cash camp looking looking quite content with the state of play because their man now well placed in this third set. Break 4-2.
Pat, given that opportunity, is
15
going
love.
to try and drive it home because this is where the champions come to the top and are able to win these matches.
Well, this really will test the champion, world's number 1, Ivan Lendl. Lendl back with his best shot.
15 all.
And he moved forward confidently for that ball. When he gets negative on his forehand, look at that, 10 winners to 2. A clear advantage there in the forehand winner department for Ivan. When he loses confidence, his legs keep still, his feet don't move.
Pat
30,
certainly has
15.
got a beautiful overhead. Gets back to it well.
Yes, he's a beautiful athlete, and he's got a tremendous jump. And he wasn't even fully extended to play that lob that was going only within a metre or so of the baseline.
Probably
30 all.
looking at two of the fittest tennis players in tennis today out there. So if it does get to the fifth set, you'll know darn well that they won't be tired if they lose that fifth one. They've geared themselves, trained very hard for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
And if it goes to a fifth set, we'll still be here telecasting it. We're going to give you every shot in this dramatic semi-final, regardless of the time that it concludes. There's just superior net play there from Pat Cash. A lot of authority with the way that he won that point.
40, 30.
And here it is in replay, just dynamic volleying, really nailed that first forehand volley, angled away the second backhand.
Deuce.
And you could see the problem there. He was standing front on.
Lapse in concentration, I think. He felt the 40-30 point. He just get an easy one.
Cash a little higher in the unforced error department. And really both players having made quite a number of unforced errors in comparison with their previous matches in the Australian Open.
Magnificent serve there from Pat Cash. His third ace, but coming at a very critical stage in the match for him.
Advantage Cash.
Seems to me it looks like shades of Wimbledon that these two played.
And there was the disadvantage of Lendl standing so far back. The further back you are when somebody slides the ball wide, the further you've got to move. Pat Cash,
Game
now
Cash.
leads
Score change,
5-2
please.
in the third set, 1-all.
Cash now leads 5-2.
Out. 15-love.
Cash insisting that the sawdust get swept away.
I haven't noticed anyone slipping on it. Even Ivan, when he's back, he's
Quiet, please.
putting it on the court, and he doesn't seem to be slipping, but it must be just a distraction and a little bit of a worry for Pat.
Oh. 15-all.
And you noticed Lendl there.
Referring to that ball being very close to the line, having a go at Jerry Armstrong. He's in the hot seat at the moment, Jerry. It's a thankless job. Luckily, they are paid well these days.
I think Ivan tends to be getting a little bit tight. I think not only with the surroundings, but with Pat. I think Pat's playing awfully well.
$15.30.
That well could be the match-winning type of play against Ivan.
$30-all.
Well, a serve volley point there from Lendl, so you know that he's a little bit concerned when he changes tactics and introduces that one.
Strange, I'm a little surprised he doesn't get in a little bit more and put some pressure on just to keep mixing it up. Because his game is capable of coming to the net, and I think that would have Pat thinking a little more.
So an attacking, aggressive Pat Cash.
30-40.
And that brings up set point. Pat Cash to lead 2-1. Lendl has his thinking cap on now. Serve and volley on the second ball. A real shock play.
Advantage Lendl. Deuce.
Nail-biting time for Tony Roach.
So point number 2.
Advantage cash.
I think Ivan was hoping desperately that ball would be too long. He wasn't really prepared to make contact with that shot. He was late getting ready.
Deuce.
Seems like 3 trips to the net and 3 wins. I think I'd take some notice of that for the 4th set.
Will be 3rd time lucky.
Advantage cash.
And Roach edging forward on his seat.
Quiet, please. Wait, please.
Certainly Ivan and Tony have been putting a lot of work in before this championship to get Lendl primed for it.
Game, 3rd set cash. 6 games to 2.
Yeah, Pat Cash Senior elated with that. A real turnaround after the 2nd set.
And it was the Lendl forehand that faltered.
Cash leads 2 sets to 1.
He has a hard road to hoe now.
4th set, cash to serve. Quiet, please.
2 hours, 19 minutes. The match has been in progress.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Cash more
Quiet, please.
aggressive in that 3rd set. I think he learnt from the 2nd set that he needed to try to take the attack up to Lendl a little more. And did it very successfully. 4th set.
$15 love.
Oh, brilliant court coverage from Pat Cash, one of the best movers laterally in the game. You see how quickly he was able to prop and change direction there.
$15 all.
A new Aussie there, if ever I've seen one. Anna Mandakova.
$15.30.
Pinpoint accuracy with that backhand from Lendl.
He set up awfully well for that shot. Beautiful shot down the line. Followed through.
$30 all.
first service percentage keeps crawling up. And Ivan's just going in the opposite direction.
First service. Thirty, 40.
And there's the points won on first serve. Cash at the end of the first set was at 90%, but still very, very healthy at 74%. And Lendl has dropped just a little more.
Big point here for Lendl. Break point for him to open this fourth set. He really needs to get something going here.
That's excellent serving by
Deuce.
Pat. He's really getting some good rhythm now and getting them in. As I notice the shadows starting to creep across the court.
Advantage Lendl.
Good backhand work in this game from Ivan. As you said, Rod, he's been out here for a long time. He was out before Christmas even, working with Tony Roach. He's not going to give up this match without one heck of a fight.
No, and I think he's going to play within himself. He's a little frustrated there in the end of that last set.
Oh, again,
Deuce.
another wonderful serve on the break point.
And that certainly is the mark of a confident player when you can come up with a big serve on break point to get back into it. Certainly knowing also that you're looking at one of the best returner serves in the game.
Advantage Lendl.
So the third double fault there for Pat Cash.
Ray Ruffles, the national coach at the Institute of Sport. And on 3 consecutive break points, Cash comes up with the goods. First serve in and good volley.
Deuce.
favouring Cash. I mean, a sensational return.
Advantage Cash.
And this was a good sliding serve. Lendl was there, and look at that delicate touch of Cash on the half volley. And I think just touching the top of the net.
Deuce.
And that was a wild double fault. Totally lost rhythm.
The ball toss was a fair way away from him there.
Yep, should have teed it up again. Remember last year in the final against Stefan Edberg when he had that terrible lapse of serving and served, in fact, I think 4 double faults in one game.
In one game, yes.
In the 4th set when he was serving 4 that set to level at 2 sets all.
Well, there's certainly a lot of pressure out there at the moment. He knows it. He's got to. If he can win this game, I think it'd be a big plus. These are the tight games. If you can come out on top, it boosts your confidence.
Advantage Cash.
Again, Lendl just slightly mishitting that ball, which set up an easy shot there for Cash. Ball in again close to his body. He hasn't handled that one too well today. An intelligent placement of the serve from Cash.
Game
So
Cash.
Cash holds that vital opening serve of the 4th set. He leads 2 sets to 1 and 1 love. So now we'll see if Ivan Lendl can get back into stride here.
That's a good beginning.
15 love.
Cash coming in at the first opportunity. Lendl rifling that forehand straight up the line.
$30 love.
Cash amazed at the
Yes.
result.
Well, he's looking down at the court. I think he feels he got a strange bounce there. Certainly it was a mishit shot.
There it is, 26-27, so quite close on the unforced errors and quite a few to each player.
Yes, the timing there was superb.
40 love.
Not easy to hit an outright winner when both players are at the baseline and somebody is as quick as Cash is across the court. And you can see there now Lendl 12 forehand winners.
Game Lendl.
Well, I think Pat seems to have got back into that same rut of trying to
One game
outslog Lendl a little more now, and I think that's his wisest of moves.
I had the feeling that he was just sort of swinging easy at the ball, then trying to get rid of a bit of the tension that had built up in the first game of the 4th and at the end of that 3rd set.
He did work hard in that serve that he had to play, and maybe that was he didn't let the ball he did. I don't know if he's let it go because Lendl hit such a good forehand, but true, he felt maybe not to gut it out too much that last game.
Oh, great moving. Cash astounded.
I think he thought it was out, but from our vantage point, it was clearly good.
Love 15.
Just tremendous moving by Cash to pick the volley up first thing, and then look at Lendl run that ball down and control it. Cash just begging the ball to go wide, but it was flush on the line.
$15 all.
You notice that last one that Ivan was just inside the baseline returning serve on that one, and he must have felt a little more confident, or felt he wanted to put a little pressure on Pat's first serve.
$30-15.
Again, the serve just swinging in close enough to the body there to cause Lendl play the shot a little cramped.
First service.
What a serve. Really flattening that one out, tremendous power.
40-15.
Certainly worth another look. Easy swing. Not much spin on that one, going for pace and placement. And he got both. Four to two. Good serve.
Game
from
Cash.
Cash gives him the game. He leads 2-1 in the fourth set.
Out. 15 love.
Well, Pat's certainly going into an ideal position with a game up in the fourth set. Anytime he gets just a mini break here, he'll be getting to the net. That's what happens when you come to the net when
30
you
love.
aren't quite there.
Well, he went in on hope here, I think, more of a bluff tactic, hoping to maybe just get a loose shot from Lendl. The tactics are right, though. Let's keep pressing.
Out.
40 love.
He gets so anxious. He wants to get at it before the ball's to him, and he drags across it. And of course, with that heavy topspin, if he catches it a little too early, he's going to be long.
And Lendl
40-15.
need to concentrate. He lost a serve from 40 love up in this match. A very vital one. He was down 4-5 in the first set at the time, yet led 40 love. Inexplicably dropped that game to lose the first set. When would it happen again here?
Game Lendl.
Doesn't.
Two games all.
Seems to me, Alan, if Lendl wants to get back in this match, he's going to have to maybe slow down some of those return of serves and make Pat hit a few volleys. He's trying to go out for outright winners here quite often, and he's not timing the ball clean enough to make it happen.
And again, staying a long way back. Successful on that occasion, but few and far between.
Love 15.
And like Rod was saying, it was a more tempered return then, just getting the ball at his feet rather than a cold winner.
Love 30.
And a very quick topspin lob there, the element of surprise doing the damage. So all of a sudden, Pat Cash in a little bit of trouble here at love 30, just selecting the better of the balls. So far, he's managed to serve well when he's been in trouble.
Love 40.
I think that's what we were talking about, is if Lendl can get the return back in any sort of a position to go for a next passing shot, he's going to get some rhythm back in his game and not be uneasy with the way he's covering court.
3 break points for the #1 seed. One is all he needs. Lendl takes a break in 4th set. Tony Roach likes it. 3-2 to Lendl.
Love 15.
That really is a smart play, to see the ball floating in there deep, come on in, and make him make a shot.
And that time off the first serve of Lendl.
It's a very alert Cash to pick up on that position, so you know he's thinking, you know what he's up to. He's looking to break back.
All.
You can't help but wonder why Ivan Lendl doesn't do this a little bit more often. I mean, this is a very competently played point. Sets it up nicely with the half volley, and then in good position, puts the smash away.
And meant it.
On consecutive points, Lendl taking command at the net.
30-15.
He's certainly capable of doing it. He's maybe just a little stiffer than Pat is at the net, but his concentration is there. He can do it.
At one stage, that statistic was 14-0.
$40-15.
Seemed to me that Lendl would have been able to make that one quite easy. It was a great shot to chip it in front of Pat as he came in like that.
The drop shot's a pretty risky shot on this court, Rod. It bounces up unless you hit it absolutely perfectly, and usually you lose the point.
Game Lendl. Lendl leads 4-2.
And Ivan Lendl just looking across again in a comment to his coach or to the racket stringer. I've got a feeling he wants some more rackets, John.
Yes, talking to Warren Bosworth. That's Warren, and we might see him spring to action.
If Lendl's thinking about getting more rackets, he's obviously feeling that he's going to take this match down to the wire. I think he might be right. 2-4.
Love.
Nice forehand, but it seemed like he didn't need to be putting that much on it. Just enough to have Pat in that half volleying or low volleying position.
Love. First service. First service. Love.
And the solid net play of Pat Cash, setting it up with the first volley and then putting himself in the correct position. So shown beautifully there by a lower angle camera.
Game Cash.
So Cash holds serve, but still trails 4-3 in the fourth set.
Love.
It's like you say, Alan, it's quite amazing that Lendl not taking advantage of getting to the net, because he's won so many points here in this last 6 or 7 games on serve, coming in and not really having to make a volley.
30, Love.
Don't have to do anything else at that point. Magnificent serve there from Ivan, really cranking that one up. Have Have a look at the service action of Ivan Lendl. A high toss, but he used his knees well to stretch up and make contact, full extension, and a lovely follow through. Just a beautiful serve. Change of pace by Cash. And it won the point. Oh, that was a surprise. A few little moon balls, as they're called, on the circuit.
That's element of surprise.
30-15.
The crowd, I don't think, could believe it.
Not a great deal of power in those balls.
I thought it was, they were back on their own home court Saturday afternoon.
And we have heard from our courtside spy that Ivan Lendl wasn't sending for more rackets, but was sending for chocolate.
Which is a source of quick energy. Just starting to see a few mishit forehands reappear in the Cash game. We noticed it in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago as he was getting his timing going. And then leading up to the semi-final, the forehand was really working very nicely for him. But just at the moment, the few mishits.
Cain Lendl. Ball change, please.
Well, the match certainly seems to have swayed back into Lendl's favour. And
Lendl leads 5-3.
going into the fifth set, if he gets there, he may be the confident body to keep going. So Pat desperately wants to hold this serve and go on.
Well, Lendl taking advantage of the slight delay in play to, while the new balls are being distributed. Change of racket, seemed to me would have gone longer than 30 seconds there.
Yes, I would have imagined. But Jerry Armstrong has been rather liberal with both players.
Quiet, please.
So Pat Cash to serve, down 3-5, and viewers through Channel 7s in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane. As we said, you'll be continuing with the tennis, and home and away will be shown for your pleasure at the end of the match.
15 love.
Well, this was the end that Lendl made those 4 great returns to break serve initially in this set.
And 15 all.
That was a lot shorter second serve too. He barely made the net with it, which allowed Lendl to get that shot and move Pat Cash wide.
The 15-30.
The footwork wasn't too good there from Pat. Just stood pretty much planted to the ground and swayed to his left a little to give himself room for that off forehand, but lost a little control of it. So he really needs to hold serve here to make Ivan Lendl serve out this fourth set.
Those first serves are just missing the side.
Well, that was a
15-40.
very low percentage shot by Pat Cash. He's a worried man, John, to play a shot like that when you're down 3-5, 15-30.
Yes, really not a percentage play at all. And which indicates some confusion going on there in Pat's mind.
2 set points for Lendl. Well, what great court coverage at the net there by Cash. A nod of acknowledgement by Tony Roach. A great shot played there.
30-40.
And you'll see just how quick he does move to his right here, because that was a blistering backhand of Lendl's down the line. Would have been less than a third of a metre from the line.
Ooh, a let off. Sigh of relief in the Cash camp. Second serve return missed on the forehand by Lendl on set point. That shot may come back to haunt him if he doesn't win this match. Ian Barclay looks suitably concerned.
Advantage Cash.
So Cash with the 5th ace.
I think that with Pat having that ace and knowing just how important this game is, because going into the fifth set with a service edge, being the game up in the 5th set is such a psychological advantage.
Well, some tentative shot making there from Patrick.
Deuce. Advantage Cash.
This becomes another real pressure point if Pat can hold serve here. Maybe he's not thinking of a 5th set. Maybe he's thinking of trying to pull back in and break serve.
Well,
Game
he's got the
Cash.
opportunity to do that. Pat Cash, he holds serve, but Ivan Lendl will be serving for the 4th set when we return to the National Tennis Centre. Pat Cash determined to break back.
That was the
Love
crowd
15.
mimicking the Cash smash. And he really just nails this last ball. Didn't want to see that one coming back. And Lendl was furious with himself for
5,
not
please.
making one of the earlier passing shots.
Fifteen all.
And Lendl there able to get one of his favourite shots. The big serve in, which drew the short reply, and then that off forehand. He wins so many points with that play. Cash a little disturbed, I think, about the serve. I think he thought it was a fault. Cash was there for it.
30-15.
Oh, what a forehand from Cash, giving Lendl a bit of his own medicine.
And what a time to hit the best forehand of the match for
30
Pat
all.
Cash. This was the most aggressive and best hit ball that he's made off the forehand side. Just tremendous power. And Lendl in a very tight little situation now, serving for the fourth set. Trailing 2-1.
Pumped up after that point.
$40-30.
Just a tremendous tennis point, this one. Both players doing everything right. Cash getting to the net. Lendl coming up with a tremendous pass. Cash superhuman
Thank
to get
you.
it back. And this match really escalating in level.
Third set point for Lendl. He had 2 in the previous Cash service game, but now 1 on his own serve.
Game
And
fourth set Lendl.
Lendl
6
winning
games to
it.
4.
Aggressive play.
Two sets all. Up and down the aisle. Okay, I'll get a message to the referee.
Quite sure what Pat was talking about there, John. Some movement, is there?
I'm sure he's talking about the photographers in the pit. The photography pit, they're going backwards and forwards is the words that I thought I heard.
Final
And,
set, Cash to
as
serve.
they come and leave, and it is distracting for him. It's right behind the court. I don't know why they're really positioned there.
So after 3 hours and 11 minutes, we're into the 5th set of this
please.
dramatic semi-final.
And the court totally covered in shade. Peter Bellinger, the referee.
Love 15.
And Lendl draws first blood in this 5th set. Returned better in that last set, Ivan Lendl. Didn't quite try to hit the cover off the ball.
Love 30.
Danger time now.
Yes, Lendl's on a run, isn't he? He's really hitting the ball very solidly. There's the first serve percentages, just 1% difference now.
Frustrated Pat Cash at the moment. Ooh, and a let off.
15-30.
And there's a slight advantage there on that percentage of points. 1 on first serve for Pat Cash. But still in trouble in the first game of the 5th set, down 15-30. And that jamming return to the feet of Cash. Double break
15-14.
point.
Well, I think that was the key in the second set, John. Lendl's not trying to hit the cover off the returns, just concentrate on getting a few more back. He broke once, nearly broke twice for the set, and now is continuing this vein in the 5th set. A little bit more percentage play from the world's number 1. Tremendous ace there from Cash. Number 6.
30-40.
Here's how he did it. Just a beautiful action. All his weight going forward. Beautiful natural throwing action.
Sneaking ahead there for Cash.
Second service.
And that shows that ball was very, very short, catching the top of the net. And that judge listens and feels for vibration.
Deuce.
Well, that was courageous there from Cash, really, to serve volley on the second serve. Break point down, first game, 5th set. And directing it to the forehand of Lendl. Look of concern from the Cash camp.
Advantage Lendl.
Third opportunity for Lendl.
First service.
Cash indicating that he didn't think it was a let. In fact, it cleared the net by quite some margin.
Out.
Lendl
Deuce.
can't believe it. He was heading for the change of ends. He thought he'd got the break.
Astonished.
Sorry?
Cash was actually heading
I can't
in that
help that.
direction
It's out.
too. The ball was definitely long.
Yes, I agree with that.
see it on the television screen.
Oh, that's a wonderful shot. It was quite a good lunge volley from Cash.
Advantage Lendl.
And so this is a point that Lendl would practice time and again. Return a serve down the line, covering the cross-court volley, and then the attempted pass down the line. And on that occasion, played to perfection.
Fourth break point.
Cash holding on. Andy Roach acknowledging that backhand volley. He's somebody who knew something about a backhand volley. Had one of the great backhand volleys of all time, as does Pat Cash.
And again, the great court speed and athletic ability saving Cash there. Someone of Cash's ability on the overhead, that was a pretty simple one.
Advantage Cash.
Sets it up with a good first volley. Lendl going for the lob, can't get enough elevation. And straightforward smash. First game point now for Cash in this fifth set.
Deuce.
Well, a real key game this is turning out as far as the end result's going to be. Lendl steeling himself for another effort.
And I think the more effort, emotional, mental and physical that is put into this game, the more important it will end up being.
Well, again, the court coverage supreme.
Just a tremendous point.
Advantage Cash.
Beautiful volley up the centre, and that court coverage was just extraordinary. Beautiful control. And the backhand smash. And this match
Quiet, please.
really coming alive.
Thank
Both
you.
players playing to their full potential. And
Game
after
Cash.
a real struggle, Cash wins the first game of the fifth set, leads 1-love.
Lendl serving.
15-love.
Both players still looking pretty fresh, John.
Yes, I don't think endurance is going to be a problem. It's cooler down there now.
both trained tremendously hard for this tournament. Been playing 3 hours, 25 minutes.
It's 15 all.
And from time to time, Ivan has been a little edgy about close calls. 6 double faults to Pat's 4. And he has served a few very costly ones.
The 30-15.
Close, but a correct call. Cash winning a baseline duel, that could be significant.
30 all.
It's usually been he who commit the first error. Under those circumstances, you can see they're pretty level.
Quiet, please.
A fair number of unforced errors due, I think, the early stages of the match where both players were a little tense.
Out. 40-30.
That's where the error comes, though, on Pat's wide forehand when he tries to come up through the flight of the ball a little too quickly.
Deuce.
Lendl trying a little quick low trajectory lob there, trying to catch Cash, but with that type of shot, everything just has to be absolutely perfect. And you can see that Cash has dominated at the net. Although Lendl hasn't come in that many times, but he's done well when he has.
And coming up with a giant serve when he needs it.
Advantage Lendl.
And what a great match, living up to everything that we thought it would, and we will be here until the end.
Game Lendl.
And Lendl pumped up with those two serves. You see the really delighted look on his face.
1 game all.
Finishing off the game in spectacular fashion. An unplayable serve and then a clean ace. So 1-1, 5th set, no one moving. 15,000 people glued to their seats.
$15 love.
Again, a little comment there, continuing the gamesmanship that we've seen right throughout this match.
I think those extraordinary gets of cash are starting to dishearten Ivan. He must have thought he nearly had a winner there on the return of serve. But Pat has just made some tremendous recoveries at the net in the last couple of games.
The 40, love.
Nice safe smash there by Cash. No need to go near the lines if you can hit down the middle and win the point. Again, just getting all the balls there from the ball boy and selecting the best couple.
Out. 40-15. Game Cash.
And Cash leads in the 5th set, 2-1.
15 love.
In a match that's really come alive after both players are a little tentative and tense. You can see the lights there now, they've been illuminated.
Thirty love.
Cash forehand, John, just starting to look just a little shaky.
The 40 love.
A little bit of a lapse for Pat Cash. He has fought tooth and nail for the first 3 games of this 5th set.
Game Lendl.
And one of the easiest games for Ivan in quite a while.
2 games all.
Progress now for 3 hours and 36 minutes. But for those lucky enough to be in one of the courtside boxes, you can have your meals brought in. And they are excellent. Choice of Australian, Italian or French cuisine.
Two all, 5th set. Cash serving. And again, lovely use of the slice serve there.
15 love.
Dragging Lendl well out of court. Just to remind you that this is a advantage set. No tie break in the 5th set.
First service. 15 all.
Well, even the great court speed of Pat Cash couldn't save him here. It has on many occasions.
Fifteen 30.
Lendl coming alive again, really lashing out at that backhand return. Cash in trouble, having to fight for every service game so far in this 5th set.
Oh, Lendl wanted that one.
30 all.
The volley down the middle, restricting his angle on that attempted pass.
First service.
All the coaches, camps, they're looking a little concerned. Not sure how this is going to go, just hoping it's going to be for their man.
Forty 30. First service. Game Cash.
And with that ace, Cash goes ahead in the 5th set, 3 games to 2.
And what a magnificent shot, and Cash really pumped up there after that. Just spectacular tennis.
In fact,
Love 15.
he appears to be moving better at this stage of the match than at any other stage. Tremendous leap in the air.
Oh, and again, yes, what court coverage from Pat Cash. Well, once again,
Love
Cash
30.
unbelievable in this movement there, and knocks off the volley. So 2 stunning
Five,
points.
please.
And that was the first serve that he approached off. So really taking courage in both hands and going for it.
Well, will this break the resolve of the #1 seed? Certainly got to put a dent in it, those 2 points. Yes, it has. A loose shot there. Lendl definitely shaken.
There's someone with their heart in the right spot.
Love 40.
3 break points.
$15.40. Quiet, please.
So will we see Cash chip and charge? He's got the break. The crowd erupting their support. Ivan Lendl looked a worried man.
Cash leads 4 games to 2.
And Tony Roach also looking rather concerned. The match is fast slipping away from his star.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet, please.
And
Fairness to both
I
players.
think
Thank
we'll
you.
put that break of serve down to that magnificently athletic opening 2 points from Pat Cash. I think it broke Lendl's back.
First service.
Cash is definitely moving better and better. He was a little tense, a little edgy to open the match.
15 love.
And here it is. This is real aggression moving forward as he plays the backhand volley.
So Victoria's Premier, John Cain, on very intently, sitting with him Philippe Chatrier, President of the National Tennis Federation. What a match they're viewing. Lendl not done with yet.
John Newcomb pondering the
15 all.
situation.
The Cash coming in, a little short. Lendl skips around and hammers that forehand down the line. Oh, well, confidence personified now from Cash.
$30-15.
That really was a confident shot, Alan. Just a little touch volley from about shoulder height.
Again, that stat really dramatically emphasising Cash's dominance from the net. Lendl hasn't come in that many occasions.
$40-15.
And you've really got to hand it to Pat Cash. I think he's one of the great match players, one of the great fighters that I think Australian tennis has produced. We saw it in the Davis Cup when he came back from 2-0 against Pernfors. We've seen it at Wimbledon. We've seen it in all these big matches. Pat Cash can really fight, and he's a winner. while he was there. Just an error in judgment, a slight mishit perhaps from Lendl.
(40-30).
This forehand of Lendl's really carrying a lot of topspin. And Cash could have hit it. The topspin dragging the ball down into the court. Cash still with game point to go ahead 5-2 in the fifth set.
Game Cash.
There it is.
Full
Cash
change
now leads 5-2 in the fifth set.
Love 15. Love 30.
There is joy in the stands here at Flinders Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please.
Possibly just
Thank you.
2 points from the match.
Love 40.
And that score of love 40 brings up 3 match points against Ivan Lendl.
Quiet please.
After nearly 4 hours, that Cash on the threshold of
Thank you.
setting the world's #1. That Cash, the clenched fist,